Okay, episode 6 of Alien Earth is in the books, and it's the first time this season that we've gotten any good dialogue from Boy Cavalier, I think. I think his character has been pretty weakly written for the most part, but in this episode, he was given dialogue that actually made him sound smart and cunning for the first time, convincingly for the first time this season. I know he's supposed to be that, but it doesn't come through in the other episodes, if you ask me. The Lost Kid characters continue to be poorly written, unfortunately. I think that they just don't know what to do with those characters because it sounded like an interesting idea, it sounded like a good idea to them, but they've kind of painted themselves into a lame corner with it, and they can't really write themselves out of it. I don't think they know how to make these characters behave or interact with others because it's just not a headspace that the writers can get into. And who can blame them? Like, who could really get into that headspace and give us something convincing from that perspective? I think the character, like, it's just a bad choice to include such characters in this story, I think. Anyway, so I don't think they have been sorted out by the improved writing in this episode. I think that still remains a weak point. Kirsch and Morrow are doing great. Love their exchange in the elevator. I think that the person who co-wrote on this episode, which it's their first episode of the season, I think they are responsible for the things that I like better in this episode than all the others. I don't know that for a fact, but I assume that, I forget her name, Lisa something maybe? I assume she wrote Boy Cavalier's dialogue in the beginning. I assume she wrote the exchange in the elevator. She may have also written all the parts for the Lost Kids in this episode, but, wasn't necessarily able to pull anything off with the hand that she was dealt by the writers who came before her. All of this is speculation. She co-wrote it with Noah Hawley. I don't know what elements of it she was responsible for and what she was not. But given what I consider an improvement in writing and a new face, I'm led to believe she was at least in part responsible for that improvement. Anyway, the episode was, oh my gosh, I haven't even talked about the fly in the room. That was so cool. I'm so glad we finally got a glimpse at another one of the specimens. We've been focusing pretty hard on the eyeball and the giant ticks, but to see one of the other ones finally doing their thing was awesome. I loved it. Looking forward to seeing the flower, the living flower thing, see what it does. But the fly was, I want to know what the effects team did to pull off that face melting, short circuiting scene with Toodles. That looked amazing. And anyway, the creature was just so creepy, and the death was so shocking. And it was like, and this is a real weird and nasty thing to say about it, but it was a visual feast, if you'll forgive me using that terminology when the thing actually did in fact eat him. But it was really something to look at and behold, and interesting alien biology. I love this like speculative biology thing that we get to do in sci-fi. And obviously they, mimicked the behaviors of Earth flies and, made it much more drastic. But it's still creative, I think. It looked so cool. Anyway, good episode, good developments, some good writing, and let's see where it goes from here.